Hello. Good morning, or whatever time it is when you see this video. I have a lot to talk about. A lot of realizations that I have been having. The other day before the Lionsgate portal, I was sitting at the ocean and I had this little epiphany come over me as I was reading my book. And I didn't realize that the Lionsgate portal was associated with the water element and the water spirit. So if you haven't gotten to any bodies of water or in water or anything like that, you should definitely do that. I think the portal closes today. Today's the 12th. But yeah, now we're in eclipse season. And that ends on the 31st. So I guess tonight is the new moon eclipse. I believe. I don't think it's a full moon yet. But anyway, so the realization that I had, I was reading my book, this one that I have been sharing, Inside the Yoga Sutras. And me, myself, and I had this realization of just life in general, and why does it have to be so difficult, and why do we make it so difficult for ourselves when it really is just so simple. And we have so many attachments to these outside influences because of our ego mind and our desires. They leech on to these things, these materialistic things that don't really matter, that just cause suffering, right? So that's really the yogi mind, is to release the suffering, release the pain, release attachments. So I had this realization as I was reading my book of, why do we make it so difficult for ourselves when it really is so simple? All we have to do is do no harm. So no harm to you, no harm to myself, no harm to others. Accept the pain. So we're always going to go through pain, whether it's, a breakup, financial loss, death, all of these things. I know these sound like really heavy things, but just accepting that the pain is a teacher for vital lessons that we need to learn in the present moment, right? So we have to go through these to learn the lesson and to move on from the suffering, so that we can become enlightened and enlightened beings, and step into that self-realization frequency, right? So learn the lesson, move on from suffering, give it up to God, and what did I write? Lessons for living a happy present life. So this is just becoming more happy and present in life, is just releasing the pains that we need to go through and the lessons we needed to learn. So on page 139 of this book, because I'm going to reference it, it talks about contentment. And I think that is a goal for me, is to just be content in life, not chaotic, not too boring, just contentment and easement, right? I think that's what we kind of all desire. But then you can go into well, if I'm desiring that, does that mean I need to release the desire of contentment? It gets confusing, and you could go into this deep, dark, the black hole of the mind, right? And overthinking it. But I think for most of us, the superficial, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Our foundation you just want to just be like happy, right? So, and in order to be happy and live a joyful life, we need to release fear. And I'll go into that in a second because had another book that popped out on the shelf. It's called The Fear Cure. And I bought this book when I went through my health coaching certification, like back in 2016, I think it was when I did that. And I bought like all of these books. And if you know me, you know that I always buy books that pertain, like I'll buy a book and I'll be like, oh, that's going to help me later in life. Like I kind of just have this like intuitive knowing that like I'm going to need that book. And then like on my bookshelf, I'll be like walking by and the book will pop out. And it's so crazy because it's always something I need to hear in that moment of my life. So flashing forward to now, talking about the present moment, we're going to talk about contentment, right? So in this book, it says the contentment is the ability to live in the present moment outside the continuous passage of time. The moment is precious because it reflects the infinite possibilities that exist outside the confines of time. Every moment holds the information, guidance, and support we need to succeed and grow spiritually. It has been said that God is either now here or nowhere. When our thoughts and actions are rooted in the moment, we come closer to the experience of absolute. Over time, contentment develops the faith that the divine consciousness animating all life will provide what we need. Contentment, because it develops faith and steadies the mind, is enough to take us to self-realization. And what does self-realization actually mean? I got the notes for that. So self-realization is fulfilling your own personal potential, understanding your true character, and waking up to your deepest inner nature. So I guess like the purity that I was talking about, like releasing, I think I was talking about that in a different video. So releasing all attachments and becoming more pure will help you gain the clarity of who you truly are and who we truly are as in this present moment, in this time, is just a soul having a human experience, right? Which is crazy. I love it. So, anywhoosies, in spiritual and Eastern traditions, self-realization is all about knowing your inner core is pure consciousness rather than just your physical body or your mind. Also, feeling connected to the universe or a higher divine reality, also known as oneness. So becoming one with body and mind, but taking that oneness of body and mind and becoming one with nature and God, or a higher power, whatever that would be to you. So for me, like I believe that God is is the source of everything, and we all have God essence within us. So aligning with that God essence within us aligns us with the higher power of the universe, the cosmos, the everything, nature, all of it. So that is why it's important that we don't fuel our minds, our ego brains, with negative thoughts or negative things like media, artificial foods, negative low vibrational energies. It could come from people, devil energies, all of these things. You want to be able to cultivate that discernment and have that clarity, to be able to discern what's good versus evil, right? They talk about it in the Bible all the time, good versus evil. And that's all around us all the time. So like you have the choice to decide what route you want to go down, whether you want to go down like the partying route of like, that low vibrational energy of like drinking, drugs, partying, egotistical, materialistic things, or you could go down the route of sunshine, happiness, eating with the earth, eating from the earth, living with the land, all of that type of stuff, like we're all on these different journeys, but, at least we have the choice to see, or we have the choice to pick which route we want to go down. So, that's all within you. So cultivating that clarity and, finding and purifying yourself from all of these different things will help you in that, with those decisions, I should say, right? So oneness, becoming one with the divine reality. And then also what I was just saying, letting go of negative habits, fears, and ego-driven desires. And that leads you to inner peace. So then I went into this little tangent of finding this book on the fear cure. And I didn't get far when I first read this book. I only read the introduction, but when I picked this book back up the other day, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed to hear. Let me see. Okay, so the other day I was golfing and we ended up getting paired. Me and my client ended up getting paired with two of these guys. And so we're having a great time, whatever. We end up picking up another guy. So there's 5 of us playing. We had a great time just playing like 9 holes. And one of the guys was like, oh, here's a ball. Like, here you go. And they like gave it to me and it had lighthouses on it. And I was like, oh my God, the lighthouse, like shine your light. Don't let anybody dim your light. Like these are all the thoughts that are coming to me when I saw the lighthouse. Always keep the light on. So don't ever let anybody dim your shine, dim your light. Be the lighthouse for others. And that has been my motto for a little bit now. Like just being that inspiration, as a survivor of basically hell, being that inspiration for others to pull them out of their own hells and have other people be able to shine their light and be that lighthouse for others. And it's just that snowball effect, right? So that was funny that it just so happened to be like a golf ball with lighthouses on it. Then I was in the car the other morning and I was on the ferry going to work and this song Rise came up on the screen. So it's like, Rise was on was on the screen of the car. And then I looked to my left and it said Rise, like, cause the boat was called Sunrise. So then like Rise was written right next to me. So I was like, okay, rising, divine feminine and divine masculine energy, rights and lefts. So becoming one within and finding that inner balance and inner union of divine feminine and masculine energy, but like rising up and rising and being that light and being like all of that, like raising the vibration. I was like, okay, I'm definitely headed into the right direction some which way or another. And I trust you, God. I trust the universe. I have faith. I trust. I'm releasing all attachments. I'm becoming more pure. And I am content finally where I'm at right here in the right now. And it took me forever to get to this spot. But that is why I am here speaking about it so that I can share it with you guys. So rise and be the lighthouse. And how the heck do we get there? Well, we get there by, having these self-realizations, releasing fears, like living this yogi life of releasing attachments and having discernment and stuff like that. So all of these things, and eventually all of these things will make sense. I'm just speaking about it because I'm learning, like I'm actually having the downloaded messages and I'm trying to like get them out without confusing anybody. But I just want them to get out there so that we can get this ball rolling. So yes. Then, so I'm reading this Fear Cure book, right? And she's talking about the inner pilot light. And I was like, oh my goodness. Is fear keeping us stuck from letting our light shine? I mean, like, for me to come on YouTube and like speak about this, like, do you know how long it took me? Years to like open up a camera and just start blabbing and like, talking and, yada, yada, yada. Because of fear. Like, I was scared that like people would judge me, people wouldn't understand what I'm saying. But when I talk to like clients and stuff in person, everybody understands. They're like, yes, I get it. Sometimes I go on long tangents and, I have ADD and I just like can't stop talking about this stuff because I love it so much, because I want to see the collective and humanity raise in vibration, because I can see past the illusions that have been veiled over us for such a long time that like we really don't need to be living under that veil anymore. There's more to life than being suppressed by these low vibrational things. I'll go into that in a different time, but we need to rise above that and we need to be the lighthouse and shine our light so that we can take more people with us to the other side. So it's like Darth Vader coming to the dark side, but we're gonna go in the opposite direction of Darth Vader, even though I love me some Darth Vader. If you know me, you know. So we want to cultivate that inner peace and we want to release all of those ego-driven desires, right? So releasing fear. So she says, in this book, where is it? Am I finding? So when you let your inner pilot light, so your light, I point to my heart because I feel like we should always be leading with our heart. That's very like Mary Magdalene Jesus is seeing with the eye of the heart. I believe that's where all of our light comes from, is this love and compassion that we have within ourselves that we can expand and bring outwards to other people. People, things, nature, pets, whatever. When you let your inner pilot light take the lead in your life, you not only free yourself from unnecessary suffering, you also pave the way for optimal health. I am always combining the psycho-spiritual thing. Like, I don't even know what the word would be, but combining Eastern medicine with Western medicine. So I always look at both aspects, especially when I'm working on myself or with a client. I'm always like, okay, so if they're having this dis-ease manifest within their body, what spiritual lesson is associated with that dis-ease that's in their body? So, because if you read Lisa Rankin's book of Mind Over Medicine, it really dives deep into that. And I guess that's where this all kind of stemmed from when I did my health coaching certification way back when. and of course I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but it's things that manifest within our body, and it's a lot of Eastern medicine too, so like acupuncture, like moving the chi through the channels and stuff like that. There can be things that become stagnant in our health, in our bodies, which manifest as disease on the outside. So when we figure out things that we are holding on inside of us and that we aren't releasing emotionally, we suffer. And that can manifest as anything in the body. So once we gain control of our emotions and we release those emotions, and mostly it's because it's fear, and fear is low vibrational energy confirmation. So when we release that fear and that low vibrational energy, ADD moment. Hold on. Let me think. We're able to purge ourselves from these diseases that manifest in the body. So it's important to tap into that emotional side, even though it is so scary. And gosh, I cry all the time trying to release, because we need to purge all of that. And then another thing that I had a realization of is I was having this conversation. Who was I talking to about this? Was I talking to somebody about it, or was I listening to something? Where did this idea come from? Anyway, I had a psychic reading done the other day. I know I sound crazy, but I had a psychic reading done the other day. And from my reading that I had last year to now, I am a completely different human being. I look different. My energy is different. I've lost about like 20 pounds. I go through, like I call them the depression demons. Like I have that voice inside my head that I am starting to learn how to love and nurture and have compassion for when that voice does come through and won't leave. But the reason why I believe that I was able to lose all of my weight and change my energy and release a lot of stuff was because I was able to come into inner balance within myself. So, if you're struggling to lose weight or to release, not that weight has anything to do with it, but as like a personal trainer and a health coach, like coming from that's like a main thing that I really work with clients on, is that they want to see results, they want to see that. But you have to be able to come into inner balance and inner union within yourself and releasing those mental toxins. Because if you're not in balance mentally with yourself, there's no way that the body is going to be able to release extra weight. It's holding on. It's a survival mechanism. We're just trying to survive internally. So you can go ahead and you can work out 5 days a week, and you can do all of these things and try all of these outside influences. You can keep trying to do that, but really when the change shifts is when your energy changes. You have a good mental mindset, so you're really pulling in more positive things inside of you. You're releasing more negative things that are outside of you, and you're pulling in and you're cultivating different energy from within your heart space. That is when you're going to see the most results, because you have to change the energy. You have to be in a good mindset, and you have to release the negative energies and the influences around you. And that is how you make long, sustainable changes, right? So again, going back to fear and like talking about stress, like we say like, oh, I'm so stressed out, but like, what are we really stressed out about? Are we stressed out about finances? Why are we stressed out about finances? We have a job, we have clients, we have all these things. Like, what's the real reason? The real reason is I'm scared of, I'm scared of not being able to pay rent. I'm scared of, all of these things. Clear, clean, delete, because I'm not putting that out in the universe. But it's really like when we have that stress, when we have that fear, it's really just code, as in this book that she says. It's just code for being really, really scared. And we have to release that fear, because we have to release all those negative, vibrations, betrayal, what are we scared of? We have to find those attachments and release those attachments. And really just detach, surrender it up to God. It's very simple, like I was saying in the beginning of this video, it's quite simple. We just make it super difficult for ourselves, but also we were never learned the tools on how to deal with all of this stuff. And I have really done a huge deep dive into this, and now I'm just ready to share like how we can all heal from this and all work through this. And don't get me wrong, like there are other great things, Western medicine, all of that stuff that help us, that are tools for this stuff. I just talk about it on a very spiritual level and an energetic level, because, that's what we all are. It's quantum physics. We are all just simply energy, and we are a soul energy having a human experience. So if we can tap into that in ourselves and see that and have that self-realization, then we can heal ourselves, basically heal humanity, raise the vibration, and come step into a world that is filled with love and compassion, because I think that is the main goal and the main lesson of Earth School that we are here to do. But yeah, do I have anything else to say? I don't know. Today was a long video. I hope this all makes sense. So yes, just wrap yourself in the white light and protect yourselves, protect your energy from those low vibrational negative things, people, places, things, outside influences, whatever. It's important. And yeah, just go inwards and do the work. I know it sounds so simple, but it's really not that difficult. We just make it difficult on ourselves, and we need to stop doing that. So it is my mission to make it easy for you guys to be able to do this. But yeah, I guess all trial and error. Some days are good, some days are bad. I don't really know. Just go with the flow, surrender, trust, and know that there is something higher that is guiding us, guiding you on this journey. All right, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Mwah.